Alright, so this game was intended to be a full-blown gacha RPG, and at some point the actual developer team looks at the publisher and just says no, we are not doing that to people. That is essentially the origin story behind DragonSword Awakening, and honestly this decision paid off. Even with a few rough edges, I'd put this game up as one of the strongest games that we have gotten so far this year. Yes, mainly because the combat is in my opinion extremely fun, and it does a lot of heavy lifting here, but the rest isn't bad either, and it's reasonably priced at 29 euros. So let me walk you through everything worth knowing before you decide whether to pick this up. Very quickly, there's story setup. You're playing as Lute, a kid making his way toward Orbis, basically the first kingdom humans ever built, and he ends up tangled up with a mercenary named Johnny and an elf named Castella. From there, he gets pulled into mercenary life, while a dragon that wrecked the continent 60 years back shows up again. Story-wise, it does the job. It's fine, fairly traditional for this kind of anime action RPG, nothing that's gonna blow your mind. Now here's the part that makes this thing interesting. It didn't start as a normal buy-it-once game, it started as a gacha project, and the publisher wanted it pushed out on mobile, loaded with the usual money traps. The developer team pushed back and ended up self-publishing. So what you get now is a straight-up standalone RPG, no microtransactions, plus online co-op built in. You can unlock everything via gameplay, and yes, that includes all 19 characters. But let's take a look at the combat, the heart of the game. There's 19 heroes total, and you're not locked into one. You're constantly swapping between party members through what they call signal skills. These signal skills can make teammates jump into your combo once certain conditions line up. Usually that means status effects. There's 5 of them, and you can stack each one up to 3 times on an enemy, if you stack enough. It opens up bigger combo windows and more damage. The classes all feel distinct. There's a real amount of customization in how you build your team, and the whole thing also simply looks flashy and is honestly very addictive once it clicks. If you play this right, there's little to no downtime in the fights, and it starts feeling like a deadly dance that you constantly pull off. Combat didn't get boring for me once in this game, that much is clear, and outside of the fights there's a fair amount to sink your teeth into. Your hero's level of XP books that you can grind until your heroes hit a cap. Then you need a breakthrough to push past it, which takes specific materials plus a high enough rank in something called the Mercenary Core. This is basically your account level that climbs through quests and exploring. Each hero also has a skill tree. Your gear can get enhanced with better stats and random bonus rolls, and weapons also have their own separate leveling track called Karma, kind of like an equipable artifact you level up on its own. At level 30, heroes unlock master skills too, pretty big passive upgrades, and these of course need rarer materials to get. There's also cooking, which is honestly more fun than it sounds. You combine ingredients you pick up around the world and it unlocks new dishes with buffs. Better ingredients make stronger food. A small thing, but it's a nice break. And there's some genuinely funny side quests along, with banter between party members that keeps things light in between. The music running through the whole thing is really solid too. Now the open world itself looks great, built on Unreal Engine 5, so the meadows and caves and underwater spots all hold up well up close. The viewing distance isn't quite as great as I would have hoped though. Where it stumbles a bit is variety. The further out you go, the more it starts feeling kind of samey, like a bit more biome variety would have gone a long way. It's not bad, there's still some standout errors for sure, but don't expect every corner to feel fresh. One thing that didn't quite land for me at all is the puzzle sections. The puzzles mostly feel like busy work, and I just wanted to continue doing the combat sections, because these are clearly the meat of the game. Once the story wraps up, it's not one of those games chasing you forever with live service stuff. All 19 heroes come from playing through the game and crafting, so the whole endgame comes down to making your team as strong as it can get. That means replaying tougher dungeons and grinding bosses for rare materials, pushing through a trial tower mode that really tests your team setup, and taking on world bosses and raids with others, up to 2 people for regular bosses, and up to 3 for the bigger raid content. There's also hunting down rare mounts, gliders, and pets hidden around the map if you're into that kind of thing. But really the actual endgame is mastering that tag team combat, chaining status effects and managing enemies across the whole roster. Time and cost wise, the story alone runs around 15 hours, and going for basically everything puts you closer to 50, all that for 30 bucks. So if you're into anime action RPGs and want combat built around swapping characters and stacking effects instead of mashing one button, this is worth grabbing. Just know going in that the puzzles are quite forgettable. The far edges of the map blur together a bit, and the story is serviceable, with decent characters and voice acting.